I thought I'd come to Chesil because it's lovely and calm and just give it a go with some carp rods and just show you how you can fish Chesil with some really light tackle, which I do quite often, especially on the neap tides when there's no surf running. If there's a big surf, forget it. As soon as if you cast out without sort of 5-6 ounces of lead, then it just drags a whole lot back in again with the swell and surf coming in. So it needs to be on a night like tonight when it's nice and calm. Yeah, and you'd be surprised how big a fish you can catch in the sea on a carp rod as well. Yeah, I've had some nice rays and smooth hounds, and they go like hell. But yeah, hopefully we'll get something tonight, but we'll see. Baits, I've got no fresh bait. It's just what I had in the freezer, but I got a good selection really. There's some mackerel, squid, sand eel, prawns, and I know it's dirty, but I have a few frozen ragworm left over from the last session that I just threw in the freezer, so we'll see. I think at this time of year on Chesil, you can pretty much catch anything this time of year, so I'm not going to say I'm expecting this, that and the other, because literally anything can turn up. I'm not expecting anything too big tonight, to be honest, because it is a bit of a neap tide, but you never know on Chesil. You just never know. So yeah, so I'll get set up and then I'll show you the gear, and yeah, we'll go from there. See you in a bit. So first up then, I just have a very simple little 2-hook rig. It's a little clip down rig. I just always find clip down rigs, even though we're not distance casting tonight, I always find that the clip down rigs just tangle a bit less for me. Each to their own, but that's just what I find. Mr. Mackerel here is still a bit frozen, but we'll carefully him up. Always cutting away from you. A bit of freezer burn on the end there. Hasn't actually been in the freezer that long, this guy, but okay. Very small hooks on this. I've just got size 6. I think they're mustard hooks. So just have a little scratch about. Very small baits just to see what's out there. We'll go mackerel on the top one. And probably a bit of squid and mackerel on the bottom one. Let's see what we get. Not too scared we're going with really small baits off here. On a rig very similar to this with size 6 hooks, I've had a smooth hound before, which is about 5 or 6 pounds, and it was just on a little bit of prawn. Tiny little prawn bait that I put up for bream. The smooth hound grabbed it, so don't be too scared to use small baits. The fish will find it if they're there. Again, we're not distance casting or anything, but I'm just going to lash this on a bit, because if there's crabs out there, they'll just whip it off in a second otherwise. So I'm just going to use a plain lead to start with, just let it roll around, see what that brings, and then we'll adjust accordingly as the night goes on. I think I said these little size 6 mustard carp hooks. Pretty strong. Slide this one up first. more impressive. Just rebaiting again. So I hate to be saying these words, but frozen ragworm. To show you what I've done. So threaded a little bit of frozen ragworm up the hook, and then put a bit of squid alongside it, and just whip the whole lot with elastic to give it a bit of a rigidity. And a little segment of sand eel on the top one. So we'll walk this out and see what happens. It really is nothing. Look at that moon. I don't know if you can see it on there. Waxing gibbous moon, so I think that means we're getting the tides are getting bigger. Let's see what we got. How can that be? Doesn't feel like he's on there, but I guess he is. 4.5 inches of him. We got pouting, just pouting in him. There we go. Yeah. This sorry bit of bait. But I do declare over the years the ragworm that I've just ditched at the end of the session when I've had some left, and from now on I'm always going to use it. And it works. It works. We want to show you the rods and tackle for the last hour and a half, but fish won't let me. The hook is still razor sharp. Okay, ready to rock again. Okay, I talked to you about the rods and reels and tackle that I'm using then. So you've seen the end rigs. So 2 carp rods. Yeah, I bought them second hand. It just says on them what looks like 777, but it looks like something's been rubbed off here. You can see that. It looks like something's been rubbed off there on both rods. And it looks like 777, 12 foot, 2¼ pound test curve, both of them. Obviously carbon rods. If anybody knows what they, or has an idea what they think these might be, these rods, give us a shout. And obviously hand built. Yeah, I like them. So I was going to use these tonight. I was in the shed early and I thought, right, I'm going to use these carp rods on the beach. I made the ends to be white. I didn't have any Mighty Bright or anything like that, so I've just gone with a good old PTFE tape wrapped around the tips. I've just put a bit of insulating tape top and bottom just to lock it off so it wouldn't unwrap. I think you'll agree that is showing up really well in the light. I'm not missing a bite there. Let's see what we got on here. It's pot noodle time. It's definitely pot noodle time. Right now. Catch and cook at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not into bootleg seal stew anyway, so it is the Bombay bad boy. Need to not pour boiling water all over my legs. I'm feeling a little chilly now. I think it's because I'm tired. Might even have to nod off in a minute for 5 minutes before the tide picks up again.